Hey guys, it's Owen from Wrestling Inc. back with another wrestling news roundup. Without any further ado, let's get into today's biggest stories in the world of professional wrestling. Update on Cody Rhodes' WWE return. As reported last Friday, Cody Rhodes has officially signed with WWE, according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider. According to the report, Rhodes signed with the WWE 10 to 14 days prior to the report being aired. Johnson noted that the current plan is to have Rhodes debut at WrestleMania weekend. As reported previously, Cody Rhodes vs Seth Rollins has been rumored to take place at WrestleMania 38. Earlier last week, Dave Meltzer reported that the match was still listed internally for next month's event. WWE has been running an angle with Rollins recently, not being able to find a path to WrestleMania. Rhodes is expected to be on the Raw brand. According to a new report from Fightful Select, WWE is planning for Rhodes to be at the Raw after WrestleMania 38 on Monday, April 4th. It was also noted in the report that WWE sources have indicated that there have been internal discussions about flying Cody Rhodes in privately to avoid the publicity of him popping up at the airport before WrestleMania. Shortly after the news broke of Rhodes signing, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful tweeted that he, quote, spoke to a lot of top talent in WWE last month who sounded, quote, very excited about the prospect of Rhodes returning to the company. With less than 3 weeks left for WrestleMania, Rollins remains without an opponent for the event. However, his luck might have changed when he grabbed a pot of gold and stomped a leprechaun on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. WWE has been using the video as part of the storylines of Rollins not being able to find a path to WrestleMania. Tonight's Raw will take place from the Allstate Arena near Chicago, Illinois. There is chatter on social media of Cody Rhodes possibly showing up to confront Seth Rollins. Steve Austin reportedly in fantastic shape ahead of WrestleMania 38. WWE Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin is in, quote, fantastic shape, end quote, ahead of his confrontation with Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 38, according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. On the Sunday night's main event podcast, Meltzer noted that a mutual friend of himself and Austin recently spotted the Texas Rattlesnake in a training session and was amazed at Austin's physique. Meltzer added that Austin is expected to take his shirt off and, quote, there's going to be a fight, there's going to be a brawl without a doubt, end quote. Meltzer noted that fans should expect a lot more than, quote, just a kick to the gut and a stunner, end quote, when Austin appears on the KO show on WrestleMania Saturday. Quote, he's training very hard, so it's going to be more than that, Meltzer said. Will he do a 20-minute match? No, I don't think so. Will he go 7 minutes or something and have a brawl all over the place? I kind of expect that, yeah, end quote. Appearing on the Rich Eisen show last week, Austin confirmed that he has been training hard for WrestleMania 38. Quote, this comeback means a lot to me as I've been getting back in ring shape and I'm going to go out there and do the absolute best that I can, Austin said. To get the chance to go back on the world's grandest stage, one of the greatest stadiums of all time, means a lot to me. I'm doing this for the fans, doing this for WWE, and doing this for me, number one, end quote. Steve Austin hasn't wrestled since his retirement match against The Rock at WrestleMania 19 almost 2 decades ago. Backstage news on Kenny Omega's role in the DDT AEW partnership. Former AEW World Champion Kenny Omega was a big part of the recent DDT and AEW partnership, according to Dave Meltzer on the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio. It was noted that he is friends with people within the organization, and the deal does include Tokyo Joshi Pro, which will allow more talent to work together. Omega has publicly commented on the news via his Twitter account, pushing how pleased he is about the deal. He wrote, quote, DDT, which includes me, has been the best kept secret in wrestling for over a decade. It only took 2 of us together to change the entire wrestling landscape from 2010 to now. The next generation is looking to leave an impact. Be ready, end quote. Of course, Kenny Omega has a long history with the company, as that was where he began to break out as a wrestler. It was within DDT that he and Kota Ibushi formed the Golden Lovers tag team. Omega has held both tag team and singles titles with the company. Christopher Daniels was the one to officially break the news during DDT's 25th anniversary show. He appeared giving a video message to the fans, quote, I'd like to say congratulations to DDT for their 25th anniversary, and I'd like to also announce that AEW and DDT have come to an agreement to bring DDT's wrestlers to the United States of America. Christopher Daniels, AEW's VP of Talent Relations, said, quote, and I, for one, am looking forward to introducing the top talent from DDT to the American wrestling fan base, end quote. This is just the latest example of Tony Khan being willing to work with other promotions. Obviously, with the recent news that he has purchased Ring of Honor, talent will be used within that promotion, but AEW have also had working relationships with New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, and the NWA. Gable Steveson seemingly spoils WWE Debut Date. Olympic gold medalist and University of Minnesota wrestler Gable Steveson won his second NCAA Heavyweight Championship after defeating Colton Schultz of Arizona State Saturday night in Detroit, Michigan. Steveson signed a multi-year deal with WWE back in September 2021, though his contract officially begins once he graduates college in May. WWE issued a statement on the victory, quote, WWE's Gable Steveson successfully defended his NCAA championship Saturday night, defeating Arizona State's Colton Schultz 6-2 to win the tournament final in Detroit. The Olympic gold medalist has now won 2 NCAA national titles and 3 Big Ten championships as a member of the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers. Steveson joined the WWE roster in September 2021 in the first ever exclusive Next in Line agreement. Steveson would go on to be selected as a member of the Raw brand in 2021 in the draft. Join the WWE Universe in congratulating Steveson on the incredible accomplishment and legendary collegiate career. Furthermore, it appears Olympic gold medalist Gable Steveson will be making his WWE debut at WrestleMania 38. Soon after becoming a 2-time NCAA Wrestling Heavyweight Champion over the weekend, Steveson tweeted, quote, Dear Wrestling, thank you, with a heart emoji to essentially bid farewell to amateur wrestling. Steveson then posted the following message, quote, Also, I will be at WrestleMania. It's time. However, Steveson would quickly delete the tweet, presumably to keep his WrestleMania debut a surprise. Last October, the Wrestling Observer reported that WWE had a big WrestleMania 38 debut planned for Steveson. The report added that WWE had plans to set up a remote training facility for Steveson near the University of Minnesota campus, where the wrestler would work with WWE coaches to learn the WWE style of in-ring action. It's unknown if Steveson had been training for his WWE debut during the final year in college. USA Network officials reportedly happy with WWE NXT 2.0 viewership. USA Network officials are happy with the TV viewership numbers of WWE NXT 2.0, according to Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men Pro Wrestling podcast. Zarian reported on his podcast that he recently spoke to a USA Network employee. Quote, they're doing good in the ratings, 620,000-ish. They're not doing terrible, Zarian said. USA Network is happy with this. I had a conversation with someone on Tuesday from USA and they're like, yeah, we're fine with the 6-somethings because listen, even with that slammed roster with like NXT being NXT, they were doing the 700,000s. USA doesn't care if there are some WWE guys there, they just want ratings. I think they're happy with the 600 and something rating, you know, like that 620 to 650, a 700 for a big show. That's a decent range. Yeah, it's not that bad, end quote. This past Tuesday's live Roadblock edition of NXT 2.0 drew 624,000 viewers, up 1.79% from last week's 613,000 viewers for the Roadblock episode. The show drew a 0.14 rating in the key 18-49 demographic, which was up 7.69% from last week's 0.13 rating in the key demo. This week's NXT viewership was up 4.5% from the episode that aired 1 year ago, while the key demo rating was up 7.7% from the show that aired 1 year ago also. The 2021 episode went head-to-head with AEW Dynamite. This was the first time since the January 11th show that there was a year-to-year increase in the audience. So what are your thoughts on today's Wrestling News Roundup? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe to Wrestling Inc. and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.